Hey guys, welcome back to Big Loss Official. As you can see today, I am joined by Big Bobby Thompson, a new bold Bobby Thompson. Absolutely fetching, I might add, Bobby. I think it really suits you.
Thank you, Liz. I appreciate that. It was time.
Yeah, there comes a
Yeah.
time in every strong man's life where I think he has to accept it. But you've got the signature look now. You're looking great.
Yeah, now I look like everybody else. It's kind of like
Well,
crap. The
yeah.
the beard's definitely not coming off though. The beard's going to stay no matter what.
No. And the beard is looking more full and beautiful than ever, I must say. It looks great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I know you haven't watched any of these, so you're a little bit, you don't know what to expect, but each one starts the same way. We're going to start with your Big Loz big introduction. So here we go.
Bobby Thompson first appeared at the Arnold Strongman Classic in 2020, having won the Amateur Arnold's competition the previous year. He's now returning to the big stage for his 5th consecutive year and made it onto the Arnold's podium in both 2022 and 2023. Can the former America's Strongest Man make the podium once again in arguably one of the competition's most stacked lineups to date?
There we go. Short and sweet, but a nice little reminder of what you've managed to achieve at this competition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had Tom on the other day and we were kind of talking about how World's Strongest Man has been like the best competition for him, obviously with the 3 wins there, but not something like the Arnold yet. But for you, it's kind of the opposite, isn't it? This is like where you've really managed to shine.
Very much so. The Arnold has always been the most important contest for me. One, it was my first big show, but two, it was also I had gone to the Arnold Classic twice in my early teens, and the last time I went, I said I wasn't coming back until I was competing, and that turned into a thing. And then it just so happened to turn into a repetitive thing. So every year going to the Arnold, there's always a bit of kind of like, okay, hey man, we've come full circle once again. Good job. But also there's just less bullshit with the Arnold.
Yeah.
Like there's less like running around. There's less doing stuff. You can turn yourself into an athlete. The system is built for the strongest athlete to win.
Yeah.
Like it just 100% is. So for me, the Arnold it's a great show. It's a comfortable show because it's the hard show.
Yeah. And on top of all of that, less bullshit, like Jan and Steve are so straight down the line with everything as well, aren't they? You always know what to expect at the Arnolds. There's no weird surprises.
Jan Todd in particular. Yes, Steve is always very diplomatic when he explains things. He'll explain them to you and make you feel like you have a say, but like, oh, okay, that's the way it is. And then there's Jan who will look up at all of us and just go, so this isn't a diplomacy, and this is the way it's going to happen. And there are definitely some times where that kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's comfort. I know that is the standard. That's what's going to happen. Everyone's going to follow it.
Yeah. So this is your favorite show of the year then, is that fair to say?
It is a stiff tie between this one and the SMO.
Yeah. Is that what we call it now, the SMO?
Honestly, it's what I don't know. That's what everyone's referring to it as. I've started just because it just kind of, I was calling it the Shaw Classic. Well, it's not that now. It's the strongest man on earth.
Yes.
So for me, it's just easier to say that and not disrespect that.
No, not at all. No, I don't take it as disrespect. I remember someone got upset with me for calling wuss. But it was like, that was by design by the organizers in my defense. Like they wanted us to call it wuss.
Right? Why would they call it that first?
Well, exactly.
Yeah, like, and trust me, I have wuss on the shirt on the front of a few shirts. I know it's been an interesting time wearing those.
Yes.
But no, yeah, I think Smo is just fine. I think Brian likes it too.
Smo's cool. But you broke into like the professional level of strongman at an interesting time, didn't you? Because it was really kind of when COVID kicked off, because you won the Amateur Arnold's in 2019, and that was really your sort of pathway into the absolute top level of strongman. Then there was that weird 2020 Arnold's where there was sort of family and friends only. And then obviously the next big shows for you, I guess, were worse, weren't they? When we were being sort of swabbed every 5 minutes at the competition.
Yeah, it was World's Strongest Man. It was Arnold, and then shortly after that, it was World's Strongest Man. Yeah. And then it was Wuss. It was going to Bahrain, going to Dubai. They were, I'll say what you want. They kept us moving. Like there was a time where things weren't getting done, and at least I had a place to go practice and stay sharp.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it'd be great to see them come back, but we will see.
We'll see. There's enough big dogs out there fighting for the meal. I think we need to We need to let things kind of organize themselves.
Yeah, to be fair, the calendar is stacked as it is, with organisers struggling to know where to put things. So yeah.
Yes, it's far too much.
Yeah. So let's talk about this year's Arnold's then, particularly. So we're going to go through each event. I know, like, you haven't watched any of these, so and you're like, "What are we doing today, Liz?"
I don't watch YouTube. Not really.
You don't
like,
watch YouTube at all?
I haven't. You're making these jokes. I haven't watched any of these.
No, that's fine. No, it's all right.
Yeah.
Well, we watch you cooking with Bobby.
Yeah, life kind of fell apart there. I had to take a brief deviation from that. But I look forward to getting back with Breakfast with Bobby here shortly.
Good. We look forward to it too.
Yeah.
So you guys are starting with a max elephant bar deadlift. Now, this is an event for the last few years. You have been one of the very top guys. And I think there's been really renewed interest with, obviously, Thor saying he's going to go for 501 plus, Rogue with the whole 100-gram bounty. So is that changing your sort of mindset going into this event about how you're going to plan your numbers, knowing that guys like Trey and Thor are planning on going for a massive sort of YOLO final lift?
If that's what they want to do, they can do that. I think that the only person that's got any business going for 501 right now is Thor. I think he's one of the only guys that's got the size and the weight to be able to pull the number and it be like a reasonable, okay, now he can go and recover from that and do well in the rest of the show.
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about someone pulling a YOLO PR on the deadlift event. I'm just not. I PR usually every time I touch that bar under some simulants. I PR without equipment. If there's one or two more guys that want to try and do something crazy, that's all right. Feel free and go ahead. It's a really heavy show.
Yeah.
And truth be told, I've never aimed to win any event at any contest I've ever done. I've just understood what my capabilities were, and I wanted to maximize those. And every time I do that, it usually ends up pretty well as long as I do my job. So no, those guys wanting to go chase that number, go get it. Have fun, boys. I've got other things to worry about.
Yeah. You're not going to get into that battle with them.
No, why would I? I'm not going to pull 501 or 502 right now.
No. And like you say, it's a longer competition this year, of course, as well, with 6 events rather than 5. Do you like the addition of an extra event?
I love opportunity to make up for lost ground.
Yeah.
That's always going to be a thing for me. I look at events and every event is an opportunity, if I screwed up, to fix the one previous.
Yeah.
However, with a show like Arnold, it's heavy. These are not easy events. Like usually every show you have an event where it's like, okay, that's the gimme event. Low impact, we're going to recover, probably high skill, throwing a sandbag, throwing a stone.
Yeah.
Not really that event. So it's kind of like, I'm like, okay, like so right now I'm just trying to make sure I get there as healthy and as recovered as I can.
Of course.
So yeah. I'm undecided at the moment.
Yeah. I think the closest you've got to a rest event may be the timber carry, because if you can because it's only 30 seconds, isn't it? Which is ridiculous because it's such a hard and heavy timber carry your face. But I'm trying to think of the other things you'll be doing. 2 overhead events. That trial by timber sounds like it's going to be nasty. The stone to shot. Well, I mean, we're going to go into all of that anyway.
Yeah. There's no rest here. No, there's no rest here.
If a 400-kilo timber carry is the closest you get to a rest, then there's no rest.
I was waiting for you to bring that to your own attention, but yes.
I'm figuring out as we go along, Bob. It's been a long week already. It's only Monday.
I agree. It's okay.
Yeah. So event number 2 is the overhead gauntlet then. So it's a dumbbell into a natural stone into the trump log for reps. Now, you are one of few athletes who has managed to get reps on this heavier Austrian oak. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. You are correct.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're going to go straight for that heavy one and ignore the lighter one?
Yes, you have to. And this really isn't a medley event. Dumbbell may not be one of my better events, but I'm very capable of pressing a 250-pound dumbbell, down for reps on both arms. It's not really a medley event. It's just a race to whoever can get to the log, and can you press a 200-kilo log?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to oversimplify the event, but the stone itself is not that heavy. I know a lot of guys have been pressing Atlas stones, and the thing is, though, a lot of guys, they don't know the difficulty of that stone is based on its shape compared to its size.
Yeah.
It's not how heavy that stone is. I press stones from that family of stones. Mm-hmm. It's a basketball.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's going to make it difficult. So I think a lot of guys have misvalued what's going to be hard and what's not going to be hard in that contest.
Okay.
Or that event, excuse me.
Yeah. No, that's interesting because when we were at the Magnuson Classic recently, they did a max stone event, and there were all these different stones lined up with their different weights on them, and you could see guys trying to figure them out, and they were like, "Well, that one's lighter, but actually, that's actually going to be way harder because of the shape of the lack of balance, etc." So you think
Yes.
potentially that could catch people out because we're kind of talking like everyone's definitely going to get to the log. Do you think that will be the case, or
Uh,
might be
I
some?
think 100% that's going to knock some guys out. Maybe not a lot. I think it's going to frustrate a lot of guys.
Yeah,
And I think that's what's going to do it because that stone, some of us are mobile, some of us are not, right?
yeah,
Most of us aren't.
yeah.
That stone is so small, or the stone from that family of stones, it is so small that there isn't a roll to the chest and get out here. Your hands are going to be suspended higher than your chest unless you can bring your thumbs all the way down to the front rack position. So your only option at that point is to basically clean the stone, get it airborne, and then catch it as it's coming down on your chest.
Interesting.
And it's a thing where no one has the right stone to practice with.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole lot of luck involved because you got to catch a rock that's almost 300 pounds while it's in mid-flight. Like best of luck. So that event, I think, is going to knock a couple guys out, but I don't think it's going to be because they're pressing ability. I don't. I think they're going to get flustered.
Yeah. Yeah. And with it being split times on each lift there as well, I think that's going to end up being the real decider when it does come to that log for reps, because I can see quite a few ties in terms of the amount of reps we see.
Yeah, same here. Definitely 100%. I think it could very much. It's going to be interesting. That is going to be a.
Yeah.
I don't. I think some guys are going to get their feelings hurt, and I think we're going to see some surprises on that event.
Okay, good. So then you go into your rest event, the 400 kilo timber carry up the ramp. So it's a classic now, isn't it? We see it pretty much every single year at the Arnolds.
Mm-hmm.
You've not managed to finish it yet, have you? The all the way up the ramp.
No, I haven't. I have. It's the incline for me.
Yeah.
My hands are. I know there was a period of time there where people were questioning, saying I didn't have a grip. I was kind of removed from those conversations. And it's like, well, no, actually, I do. I can't walk uphill with load. It's just not something that has been accomplishable for physical reasons for me.
Is that an ankle mobility issue there and the toes?
Well, yeah, actually my ankle mobility is excellent because of my toes, but it is because of the screws in my feet. I can't really lean forward and push off the balls of my feet, so I have to walk up that incline standing straight up instead of leaning forward.
Right. Okay.
So it just gets really difficult. So that's an event to where Laws and I have been doing some different things. We've been working on some different things, but we're also very realistic. Like, you got screws in your feet and your feet don't bend the right way, man. Like, we've done some really cool things up to this point, but we also need to be realistic and go, okay, hey, like, what's going to happen if we continue to train this?
Yeah.
Like, are we going to get all the negatives and absorb all the punishment from it and not really see much, or are we going to actually get something from it? So that's been a puzzle piece of training.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, where the 6th event is probably going to help you out quite a bit.
Yes.
In hindsight, yeah. It's so funny. I know you won't mind me saying this, but Loz considers you like his best disabled athlete.
I think that's well. There's a guy on Instagram that at least at one point in time he was calling himself the world's strongest disabled, whatever, and he had like a fused ankle, I think, and that was all he had.
Oh no! Oh,
yeah. So it's kind of.
The disabled side of the sport is very interesting because obviously there's levels to it, isn't it? And like Loz coaches some of the very best sitting bull, who's obviously wheelchair bound. He's held world titles, cybernetic strongman as well, an amputee. He's held world titles as well, but he's got you in there as well.
I mean, I think he's really insulting the guys I've beaten more than anything else. I mean,
maybe.
I've podiumed at the Arnold twice as a disabled athlete. That means there's on a 10 or 11 man roster, there's 5 or 6 guys that are real upset with themselves.
More shade on them than it is on you. It's a compliment to you. Right, let's move on quickly before I get into trouble. Lo's going to watch this one. Oh dear. So you are starting day 2 with the big jerk. Now, how? I mean, I'm guessing you're not a jerker, Bobby. You don't strike me as one. I'm guessing, are you going for a behind the neck push press? Or?
Yes, I'll be push pressing everything from behind the neck. No, one, even again back to my toes, right? Like, you got to catch on that back foot like that. So there's just no option there for me.
No.
And 2, I don't think there would have been enough time for me to have learned how to be effective enough at the jerk.
Yeah.
Be good at it anyways. But behind the neck has been nice for me. I've enjoyed it. I think it hasn't been much of a secret that Bobby Thompson's elbows haven't been what they were at different times in my career, which I'm fine with. Like I've had a wonderful pressing career. But that being said, being behind my head has offered a little bit of pain relief from my elbows.
Okay.
It's in a better position. I've gotten some mobility back.
Nice.
So that it's been a real neat experience having to learn to get better at this event. But also it's put me in better contact with my leg drive.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I feel like I've developed more speed with my legs, in particular with my dumbbell. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. I definitely hit a wall at the end of my training with it.
Yeah.
But Laws will probably tell you I'm right. Anytime you hit a PR on any movement, you're within range of failure or injury. And the problem is when you're so strong that you're learning how to do something that your positives can overcome the negative attributes you don't know how to perform. And then all of a sudden all of it catches and it's kind of like, oh, okay. So, and that's kind of what a lot of the guys were running into, I noticed. Like we've all got all the horsepower in the world to get things overhead, but who can hit the position just right?
Yeah. And it's so technical. It's such small margins, isn't it, to get it right? Yeah.
It's an equalizer event, 100%. The big little guys can beat the big guys, and the tall guys aren't going to have good days.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to see some upsets on it, but I think we're likely to see some really incredible things as well. I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm looking forward to seeing Lucas on that one. He just seems to hit it all the time. Yeah. Okay, so event number 2 on day 2 is the trial by timber. So this is the log load into what we're hearing is going to be an incredibly heavy and hard pull. Now, do you struggle with pulling because of your feet, or less so than a push because it's moving?
So moving backwards is significantly easier.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, moving backwards is significantly easier. I'm excited for this because I want to see everything in my so I'm excited because I want to see everything right. This obviously it's going to be heavy, and I am a lighter guy on the list, which is kind of weird, but
you never used
my body weight, right? Like my body weight's definitely going to play against me in that event. However, my gas tank's probably going to be really beneficial. I also have a log that is similar in shape. It's very long. It's almost 7 foot long. It's 240 plus pounds without any plates in it, empty. So the implements we're going to be carrying, I had something that was very similar. Okay. So I was able to do some heavier picks, actually walk with that on my legs.
Yeah.
Excuse me, try and negotiate if I wanted. Like, do we want to shoulder this? It took me about 30 seconds to figure out that was not going to be an option. And I was like, cool, we're not shouldering this thing. But I've had some more specific training with that than some of the other events, which was really nice.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, because I think you'd lose so much time getting it to the shoulder, wouldn't you, over some of those guys with the longer legs who are just going to rip it and go, I guess.
No, I think getting it on my shoulder potentially would, if time to practice was there, it would be offloading it onto the sled because something from that heavy from my shoulder to ground is going to bounce.
Yes.
And I need these things to land in that sled where I need them to be, and they need to stay there. They don't need to be jostled and move around. So
no. Good point. Yeah. Okay, so the final event then is the Atlas stone to shoulder. Now, granted, it was a natural stone. Now, you're not renowned for your Atlas stone skills.
I suck at Atlas stones, Liz. It's okay.
No, I know. I tried to say it in a really polite and
I'll say it for you. I suck at it. It's fine.
Right. But you're really shit at Atlas stones. However, at the 2020 Arnold Strongman Classic, they finished with a natural stone to shoulder, and you were one of 3 men, was it, that managed to get it to your shoulder? So you've proven that it's, and like, what was different about that? Is it the shape of the stone?
I genuinely believe it is the shape of the stone that makes a difference for me. I am actually pretty good at real natural stones, like actual natural stones where the puzzle has to be solved. Like that, those are things I do very, very well. And it's just a shame that we don't get more of those, but I understand natural stones are a difficult thing to really come by. Like the tombstone, that stone we shouldered, that's there's one of those. It makes its rounds.
Yeah.
Right. Like that stone travels places. So Atlas stones traditionally have not been a great event for me. I have not gotten as much time on loading a stone to my shoulder as I would have liked. We've had some really shitty weather here in Virginia. And I also had to transport my gym at the very beginning of January to somewhere else, got everything moved, and then all of a sudden we had ice, and then we had snow, and the stones are not. It was just a bunch of shitty things that kept playing. So I've been shouldering a lot of sandbags. Shouldering a 400-pound sandbag is not a difficult thing for me. I was one of the first guys stateside to ever do it, I believe. So it's not a terribly difficult thing for me to do. It's hard, but it's not something I have to really negotiate that hard in my head.
Yeah.
So with the Atlas stone, I'm hoping that it will be a very well made stone, which Steve's making them. So I've also learned some things about gripping the stone in terms of the way my skin responds to different environments. That's going to be something I'll get a chance to utilize. Also, I think a big part of Atlas stones is the tacky.
Yeah.
And I think that for me has been the biggest problem with Atlas stones. I just never have gotten a good understanding of tacky.
Yeah.
And I've never found one that I can make work the same way each time. So it's odd. The tacky's not involved. What's going to happen? We'll just have to see.
Yeah. Something that was a big advantage for other athletes over you is not once it's taken away. I know you say you don't watch YouTube content, but if I may recommend, Martin's Listis posted a video where he visited Dungeon Strength, where Lucas and all of those guys train, and he was giving a lot of very, very helpful tips about the stone to shoulder, which is definitely worth a watch. I know we're like traveling in 2 days. But it's
no, you never know. Like, I mean, I figured out how to shoulder that tombstone 35 seconds before I did.
Yeah, on the day, on the job. Yeah.
Right. So like, I'll go watch if you're saying it's helpful. And I also know Martins can shoulder and pick anything off the ground he wants to.
Pretty much anything. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And he's traveled the world learning different techniques of stone lifting and all sorts of things. He's got the coolest job out of everyone, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I don't think many other people could do it.
No.
Like he's got the coolest job, but I think he's one of the few guys who can do the job.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. He's perfect for it. Yeah.
And let's be honest, without Romark,
there is no Martins.
I'm not gonna say there's no Martins, but I've seen that man make some stuff happen.
Yeah,
so
that's great. Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say. But I agree.
Romark's good. Me and him, we pretend we're in this like continuous war, but I think the feeling is mutual that we love each other really.
Romark is he's kind of like a puppy. If you've got a problem with him, then that's your problem and go elsewhere.
No, definitely.
Like, yeah.
Gives a great back rub as well. I don't know if you've ever been lucky enough for him to just randomly come up to you. It's so good.
He's done my calves too.
Yeah, he's a great handler.
Yes.
So overall then, Bobby, do you have any, sort of, I guess it's a hard question to ask and a difficult one for you to answer because you can't help the shape that other guys come in at, can you? But you're going to have sort of individual events goals, I guess, of what you want to achieve on each one, and I guess where that places you is where that places you. It'd be stupid for me to say, where do you want to place overall, Bobby? First.
Where do I think everybody there wants to win, right? Even Nick Guadione showing up for his first one, he's eyeballing first place too. I think everybody's at that show, realistic or not, and we all look at the roster and we all know, we've all felt it. We've all felt the shows we've come in for, and we're like, oh, okay, like y'all aren't on the same level I am today. I've had those shows. Mitch has those shows. Thor has those shows. So I think I'm going to outside shot podium, but realistically 4th through 5th if I have a Bobby Thompson day. Yeah. Now, if I can have a tombstone day where I can get the big stone shouldered, I think that is what is going to
separate,
kind of push me the extra. We'll see it with myself. I'll have the extra point or half point come out of nowhere because I overperformed on a weakness. And that's usually what pushes me into podium range.
Yeah.
So I have 2 opportunities to do that at this contest. And I have one guy who doesn't usually come with the best grip, but he's been training his ass off. I'm not going to say his name because that's just bad luck.
I know exactly.
And I've got 2 new guys who haven't been there before.
Yeah.
So this is a situation where somebody who has a little bit of experience like myself, it's, okay, where can I use that to pull that point and half point from the guys who don't see the things that I see?
Yeah.
That's where that kind of strategy comes into play for me. I don't know. Maybe that just means I'm old, but it's how I look at it.
Well, if you're not using your experience to see how you can get points over other guys, what's it worth?
Nothing. Well, hopefully it was worth something because it cost me something.
Because you've lost your head.
Right. I gave. Okay.
Right. So I did pre-warn you that each of these chats finishes with a little game. So I've made you a would you rather, and I did also pre-warn you that it's going to be a mixture of some serious, some less so. Okay. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Would you rather win the Arnold Strongman Classic or win the World's Strongest Man?
Arnold Classic.
Yeah. I kind of knew that from earlier when you said, yeah.
Yeah, more concentrated talent pool,
Yeah.
like overall better experience. To me, it's a heavier show. It means more.
Yeah. No, totally fair. Would you rather have a max squat or a max deadlift in competition?
As I am currently,
Mm-hmm.
max deadlift. As I am currently, max
Okay.
deadlift.
Peak ever Bobby, who's doing his best squatting and deadlifting numbers at that time?
I've squatted 800 pounds on a safety squat bar with knee sleeves and a belt. And I had no reason to do it other than I wanted to. I've hit multiple reps at a box at 800 plus with an axle squatting. So, yeah, like peak Bobby would have loved to have seen a big squat event.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you enjoy squatting?
When I do it frequently enough to be adjusted to it, I sure do. But if I don't do it for a little while, you can go talk to Laws. I bitch about it every week. If I don't do it for a little while and we do it all of a sudden, yeah, it's not so much fun.
Yeah, going back to squatting is painful.
Yes.
As someone who had like a 9-year break from it, I know.
You get it.
I totally get it. Yeah. Would you rather, okay, this is a silly one. Would you rather do a celebrity boxing match against another strongman, or would you rather have your own show called Cooking with Bobby?
You know, I bounced for over a decade. Like, I got paid to punch people in the face already, so I'd much rather have the cooking show. I don't want to hit any of my friends. I'm good. That's not a happy Bobby thing to do.
Cooking show. Yeah. Oh, that's fair.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yes, I'm good.
Peace and love these days. I want to hear about your bouncing days, though. That sounds fun.
When we're not recording, sure, we'll talk about some stuff.
Okay, fair enough. Loz did it too. I think a lot of strongmen have at some point in their career and had some interesting stories to share.
Yes,
we'll talk offline. Okay. Where are we? Okay, this is a good one. Would you rather compete in a Highland Games, so lots of throwing, caber, that sort of thing, or a CrossFit competition?
As I am right now, Highland Games, but I have thoughts and desires for CrossFit later on in life.
Oh, you do? That's cool.
I've said that from the beginning. I really would like to compete in CrossFit at some point in time.
Yeah, that would be awesome to see. That'd be cool. Right. Kind of silly. Would you rather do an outdoor competition somewhere absolutely boiling hot like Dubai or somewhere freezing cold like Iceland? Which would you hate the least?
Well, I've already done the really hot shows outside, and I train in the cold.
Okay.
I compete in the heat, train in the cold. Yeah, I'd rather compete in the heat. I'll take the heat over the cold.
Yeah, I would too, for watching. Yeah.
You can always take clothes off. You can't only put so much more on.
No. Wow. Actually, I guess the opposite would be true, that you could put on as many clothes as you needed. You can only take off so many, Bobby.
Well, as an athlete, that's not the case at all, because if I put so much shit on, I can't move.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Oh, I was thinking more for me.
Oh, for you? You're married to one of us. What are you worried about? He keeps you like, okay, yeah. Cold weather's what you're worried about.
Loz is the worst for feeling the cold. He's terrible. Did you watch any of the Magnuson Classic?
But no, truthfully, I didn't.
He was like
was it bad for him?
With a red nose the whole time. He's not built for the cold. Well, he should be built for the cold, but he's got that Iranian blood, hasn't he? So
I will say, since shaving my head, I have changed my thoughts on the cold.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, Loz has struggled this winter. I don't think he's truly warmed up since Iceland. Bless him. Okay. Would you rather have some Haribo or have some Harbro? You're looking at me completely blank. Do you not remember?
No. I understand exactly what you're saying. It's fine. That's okay. You know I'm going to see you in a couple days, right?
I'm going to play the advert. I'm sure, because it's quite clearly they're saying Haribo, Bobby.
Look, if the rest of the world wants to be wrong, I can only allow them to be that way. But the moment they're ready to be enlightened, I will show them the light.
If the manufacturers are happy to be wrong.
Yeah, hey, they can be wrong. That's fine. I'll be right for them.
I love how stubborn you are. It's ridiculous, but it's fun. Okay. So, would you rather do all of your sessions in your gym except one of them, where each week you would have to train in Planet Fitness, or you only ever train in your gym, but you have to end each session with a mile-long run? So, bit of sacrifice on either side. A day a week at Planet Fitness or a mile run a day that you train?
I'm about to make you feel really, really bad.
Go on. You already
You
go to
understand that,
Planet
right?
Fitness. What?
I'm about to make you feel really bad.
Go on then. You can't
If I
run.
ran a mile every day, I would probably make it about a month before I'd have to go back under the knife to have chunks of bone removed from my feet.
Oh no.
So you're making me choose between walking or going to Planet Fitness right now.
Well, which would you choose, Bobby?
Gee, I would probably be at my gym in a wheelchair.
You'd be the new.
To be honest, I was like, wow, that's harsh. Okay, and then I was like, people. Nope, gym. My gym. My gym school.
Yeah. Well, without knowing about the effects it could have on you in the long run, I knew that Planet Fitness and Bobby Thompson are probably two of the absolute, worst things you could put together. I can't imagine.
I would be okay, except for I'm a task-oriented individual. So clearly right now I need things, specialized pieces of equipment, right? But my only issue with that is I'm task-oriented. If I go in to do something, I'm there to do it. And if you're not part of that thing, then please don't interfere.
Yeah, please get out of my way.
Yeah, like let's talk outside the gym. I don't want to be here very long.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I don't think even I could go to a commercial gym, having been to like a proper lifting gym, I just...
No, and especially my space now, there's 4 of us that have keys. Only 2 of us go in. I own 95% of the equipment. Somebody else owns the other 5%, and the other guy that's got a key, he fixes the place when something goes wrong.
Okay.
And it's 45 minutes away from town. It's out in the middle of nowhere. Like, I couldn't go back to a normal gym at this point.
Sounds ideal.
No.
Oh, gosh, what have I done with it? Okay, here we go. Okay, this is the last one then. So, would you rather hold the log lift world record or the deadlift world record? You were always known for being such a great log lifter, but there's a lot of prestige with the deadlift. If they paid the same as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, paid the same as well.
Yeah.
I would, at this point in my career, I think the deadlift would be more feasible than the log press, just right now. My best log pressing happens at 360 pounds. My best deadlifting happens at roughly 340 pounds. So for me right now, if I were to like, hey, this is the one, then the deadlift would probably make more sense.
Yeah. What are you weighing right now?
Right now, I think actually as of about an hour and a half ago, I think I'm sitting right at like 332. Okay. I had a little bit of a late start. I did a lot of work last night because I had to fly shortly. So late start this morning. So I'm about 332 right now. End of day, I can probably expect to be about 336. Okay. And then Nathan and I will initiate our power up on Tuesday, most likely, which probably walk out to contest about between 336, 340.
Okay. Oh, interesting. He's got a lot of athletes there this year, hasn't he?
It's really phenomenal. It is. Like it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I always love seeing him with his little wheel case full of snacks and treats.
I just don't know why the contests don't pay him to be places at this point.
Yeah.
Because if he has 5 of us at a contest and he's feeding us, he's guaranteed that we're walking out for the next event to perform.
Yeah. No, that's
so
true.
Like, we'll see. And I get they have, and I also do not know what the back end of the Rogue Invitational, the Shaw Classic, or the Arnold look like. But like that guy I feel like should just kind of be backstage as almost medical at this point.
Yeah. It's like people, the St. John's ambulance crew are trying to come through, and Nathan's like, no, with his Skittles.
Yeah, you just Rice Krispie and walk away.
Yeah.
Like, just drop it when you get a chance, big guy. Yeah, it's interesting to see how many athletes he works with. And I know the issues he's helped with me, the things he's done for me, the things he's done for me in contests, where it's like, I can't physically function. I have ailment, thing is wrong, and Nathan comes and fixes the problem.
Yeah.
So there have been situations where he's kept me going in contests, and when I see he's got half the roster,
I know. Yeah.
It's like, I think y'all just need to make him a fixture at the show and give him a Nathan badge. Like,
he's just part of the crew now at this point, surely.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Right, that is it then, Bobby. We're very excited to see you on, well, probably not Wednesday, but definitely Thursday. We will see you in Ohio. And we look forward to seeing Cooking or Breakfast with Bobby back as well, hopefully in the near future.
I'm thinking post Arnold, breakfast with Bobby is coming back.
That would be great. That would be great. And maybe, I mean, obviously you won't be cooking it, but a breakfast with Bobby at the Arnold's could work. Eh?
I don't like to eat on camera.
Oh, okay. It's just the cooking.
I don't like it, it's and this is gonna sound real. It's eating's a job. Like if I'm sitting down to eat food, like usually it's in such volume that one I'll be talking with a mouthful and food
Yeah,
full
no,
of beard. Like I don't care how sexy I am, that's just not a good look. The optics of that are always off. Yeah, so like I'm definitely not going to do it while actually eating. But I
no.
have a feeling your brain just did a thing. I'm just stuck with a camera in my face at breakfast one morning. So
I'm going to find you. We're going to have
we can
breakfast
talk
together.
about whatever thing you want to do, Liz. We can talk
Okay,
about it.
thank you so much, Bobby. So I am going to link your YouTube in the comments so that when Breakfast with Bobby is back, people can go and subscribe and enjoy it as much as we have. But thank you guys for watching. There are still a couple more interviews to come before the Arnold starts on Friday, and we will catch you on the next one. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Liz.